Hello and welcome once again to the second video of the series talking about forgiveness. In this last week, I have had the most amazing set of questions, letters, messages sent to me, querying about forgiveness, wanting me to dig deeper. So I will try my best to answer as much as I can. I think it's important to remember right at the outset that my purpose in doing these videos is simply to share my lived experience, to share the wisdom that in my heart I know and I feel to be true. It is my sincere hope that you find some peace in it as much as I have. So picking up from where we left off last time about acknowledging and accepting the dark side in us. So all the anger, the frustration, the jealousies, the disillusionments, the disappointments, the thwarted ambitions, so on and so forth. The reason why accepting and owning up to, if you like, our shadow sides is important is because it is the play of light and shadow both that defines us collectively as a unique individual. So our shadow is often as important as the light. In fact, in the absence of the shadow, the light will not have context. For example, if we had no nights, we wouldn't know the beauty of the day. Equally, if we had all days, then we would not know the beauty of the night. So just going back, so if we had all nights, we wouldn't know the beauty of the day. Equally, if we had all day, we wouldn't know the beauty of the night, the stars that light the sky up, the northern lights, the moon that shines at night. So both light and shadow have their own important and equally relevant role in the process of living, in the experience called life. Why is it that we're hesitant to own up to our shadows? What frightens us? It is often a very common human reaction to pretend or to repress or to look away from the more heavier, denser, uncomfortable feelings. That is common, that is natural. It happens because there is a certain element of pain in it. If I were to draw a corollary, I think a good example would be like standing on the shore of an ice-cold lake, afraid to jump in, fearful of the pain that would be caused to the body by the cold in the water. But what happens when we find the courage in us to jump into the water, irrespective of our logic and our minds warning us of the pain? What actually happens is that the body gets used to the water. So pain is like physical pain, emotional pain, or mental pain, is simply a warning of discomfort. What it causes or what it brings about is an element of fear, and it is that which holds us back. But when we allow ourselves to be held back by fear, we lose the gift there is in the invitation of pain. And what is that gift? The gift of courage, the gift of owning up to who we are. Because it is the play of light and darkness together that make this mosaic called you, I, beautiful. So when we acknowledge ourselves, when we create that place of self-acceptance for our own jealousies and angers and so on and so forth, we realize that people who have upset us, people who annoy us, people who we find difficult to forgive or let go, are as frail and are as vulnerable as we ourselves are. Now that's a thought. And that brings me to the meat of today's talk. I have been asked by numerous people, most beautifully summed up by a very dear soul I walked with yesterday, walking the dogs. Why is it so difficult to let go and forgive someone when you have actually verbalized, you have articulated to them time and time again how their actions have wounded you? What is forgiveness in that context? The answer is at the heart of what forgiveness is. So forgiveness is made up of two levels, two cores. One is simply the act of letting go. Say you have this person in your life, and invariably the challenge will be from someone who you love or someone who you are in close association with. It could be a brother, it could be a wife, it could be a husband, it could be a lover, it could be a sister, it usually is. The challenge is the greatest when it comes from someone near and dear. Now, the first thing to understand is that, like I've just said, they are as frail, as vulnerable, as frightened of owning up to their pain as we once were. And that is why they have no room to acknowledge how we feel in their hearts. Their hearts are overflowing with their own pain. Think about that. Maybe this talk will invite you to consider that. And then at a more deeper level, does forgiveness then mean that I allow myself to be used and abused, or even insulted and slighted continuously, forever? And the answer to that is no. Forgiveness implies self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is not equal to self-harm. Once we have declared and articulated the wounds that are being caused to us by someone else's pain, we have a duty to protect our own heart, to protect our own well-being, and to protect, therefore, all that is valuable within us. I will leave you with that thought and will wait to hear, once again as usual, for your questions, your reflections, and your thoughts on today's talk. So until we meet again, thank you for joining. Thank you once again.